It's the NFL on EA Sports. And here comes Kenneth Murray. He put up numbers last week with a 9-tackle performance. It's the Texans and the Bengals, and it comes your way next on Madden NFL 24.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at what's now known as Paycor Stadium here in Cincinnati. Today we hit double digits, week 10, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Houston Texans taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gordon. To my left, Charles Davis. And Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in riding high, just one loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This fielded right at the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. Leading them out, the last active player remaining from the 05 draft, and a name that dominates headlines year-round, Aaron Rodgers.
You enjoyed watching that game tape, didn't you?
Yeah,
Last week's game.
Good. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Now, you were a little upset about the pick. I didn't know if you would play him this week or not if you were the head coach.
Hey, they got the win.
You got the win, so you're going to give him another chance?
Give him another shot.
All right, I think the ratio is pretty good. He'll try to eliminate the interception. He wants to keep that hot streak going, throwing touchdown passes.
The numbers for him from a week ago. 14 carries, 82 yards.
And those numbers have both he and his blockers motivated this week. They saw that yardage total climbing, but stopped short of 100. Every one of them has to be driven this week to help him reach the century mark.
And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
Holding offense.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. To throw is Rodgers. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll give him a short yardage situation here for 2nd down. Throwing is Rodgers. That's complete. It's Devin Duvernay. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Now Rodgers. He gets this one. And it's out. He put it on the carpet. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about this training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down. Now Rodgers.
Dumps this one out Algier.
7 yards there and a first down.
Well, we know he can run the football too, but he's a good pass catcher. That's been on display here, Charles, on this opening drive.
And we certainly have seen the benefits of what he did in the offseason, which was spend more time with wide receivers, working on routes, working on cuts, in order to make himself a more complete running back and even more of a threat downfield.
So step off the 5 yards.
Yeah, partner, you know, defensive end, He wants to get into the offensive backfield. He wants that get off to be as fast as possible. A little too quick on that one.
Patterson running between the tackles, and he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the gains.
Well, the Bengals are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line. They'll run here with Algier. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
Here's where we need to see some tenacity from this defense because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
Now they'll send a tight end in motion left. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. We got a pause following the play because it appears a member of the Bengals in some discomfort. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. And his kick is good. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. No, a pretty decent opening drive, Charles. Pretty balanced. They had the passing game going and the rushing attack, too.
I would think they have to be happy with that start because you get your ground game going, which means your offensive line and your runners are pretty happy, and then you get your aerial attack going as well, so your quarterback and receivers have smiles on their faces. Now both up to speed, awaiting their next possessions for this game. They can't wait to get started again.
So here come the Texans now for their first drive. Bringing them out is the number 1 overall pick this year, Heisman Trophy winner at Alabama, Bryce Young.
For every rookie prospect, there are always nerves involved in this moment. Running your team out to start a game. But there's a reason they brought him in. We're willing to make him a starter today. They believe he can overcome those nerves and lead his team to a victory. We saw him do it at the collegiate level and really make himself into a leader and someone you can envision doing the exact same thing here in the NFL.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 17 carries, 92 yards.
A key component of his team's offense. He will certainly stay in that role if he keeps producing like this each week. Expect him to make a run at not only matching, but exceeding those numbers as this one goes on.
Now Young. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. To throw, Young. And that's going to be incomplete. And his first throw, that nearly went the other way. Instead, it's 4th down. Now is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. 2nd down and 8. Throwing now is Rodgers. George Kittle. Complete to the tight end Kittle over the middle of the field. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. Now Rodgers on the bootleg. And he slings one that's incomplete. The Bengals Bengals at 7-1 now on the year. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain. They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. Shotgun now for Rodgers. He completes it to Boyd. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 36. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Back to the ground now. Patterson. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it with an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. 42 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Being chased out, and he will take it on for a Bengals touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, touchdown number 18 on the year. And the Bengals are able to extend their lead.
Aaron Rodgers, he can still maneuver. 35 rushing touchdowns in his career with Green Bay. Partner, I double-checked that stat. That's the right number. And even at his age, he knows when it's time to go, and he does it there for a touchdown.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead grows to 10-0. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. 3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
Well, since you took me to the nautical side, I'm going to try and keep up here because to me, this ship is about ready to pull out of port. These next couple of games are absolute must-wins for them. Now, if they can win a couple, get to 5-5, maybe they start believing in themselves. But a loss here, that would move them to 3-6. And if that's the case, well, that boat is going to head out to the harbor with them still on the dock.
10-0 the score after one on EA Sports. Texans football to start quarter 2. 3rd and 5. As they've got it as we resume action. Young to throw it. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
38-yard line, 2nd and 9. Throwing, Young. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. Escaping a tackle at the 25. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
First and 10, it's Patterson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. From the gun, it's Rodgers. This will be taken in by Michael Pittman. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. To throw, it's Rodgers. And that is incomplete. Blanketed coverage by Houston. Makes it 4th down.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
Young's throw into the hands of Pitts here. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Young on 3rd down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
So here are the Bengals set to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Rodgers going to throw. Over the middle to Kittle, complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. The ball on the 32, it's 2nd and 2. Now it's Rodgers. That's Cordero Patterson hauling it in. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. That one a 1st down pickup of 8. Out of the gun, a run with Patterson. And some pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. 60 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 44-yard line. On 1st down, going back to Patterson. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Here's Rodgers to throw. They'll find a man over the middle, a 2-2-8 line. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. A shotgun handoff to Patterson, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. In on the stop, it was Travarius Moore. 2nd and 5. They'll go again with Patterson. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard. Well, we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirect.
And that'll be caught. Touchdown, Bengals. It's Tyler Boyd. An 11-yard touchdown. As his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. And partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Extra point right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20. That time, a 9-play drive. And it's finished off by the touchdown from Tyler Boyd. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. And here comes the Texans now. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 27 yards there, a first down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Running straight ahead, Taylor. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory.
Holding. Offense.
So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
Holding. Offense.
So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need to...
And he cannot get away, and Young will go down to Marvin Leal. Busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Here is Young. Throw taken in by Taylor, left side. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. Young. Short throw hauled in by Kelsey. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. As Sanchez on to punt here as he sends this one away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The do-it-all weapon, Cordero Patterson, coming back out. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Got a man. It's Brown. And he is going to have a Bengals first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5. Throw out right, taken in by Patterson. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Boyd. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar, and they will not be able to add on to their 20-point lead. Final play of the half, Young. Going deep here for Watkins. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in a minute. But first, let's take a spin around the NFL and see what's going on here in week number 10. We got an excellent first half from the former MVP, Aaron Rodgers. He had a touchdown both in the air and on the ground to help push his guys into the lead at the break.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. As we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Texans down on the scoreboard, but they do get the first crack here as we are back underway in the second half. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this third quarter. They look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any one of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
And it's 3rd down.
3rd and short yardage, Young. Another catch for Valdez-Scantling. Yeah, this is only going to be a gain of 2. He needed 3. It's 4th and 1.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
Taken in at the 22. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. First down, and they'll start with Algier. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game. Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
This is 2nd and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 41-yard line.
To throw is Rodgers. This is caught. It's Brown. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 42. A new set of downs after a strong pickup of 16 yards.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Algier. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. And we're at the 41, 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the Texans' 41-yard line.
Throwing is Rodgers. Dumps this one off to Algier. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. Pass taken in. Ball's been tight end. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 28. Given 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Rodgers tapping this forward on the jet sweep. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. An injury stoppage here, and that's Marquise Brown, who appears to be shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. On 2nd, here's Algier. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. On play action, Rodgers. And he's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. Tutu Atwell. His first touchdown on the year. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. So another touchdown there, and even though we're still just here in the 3rd quarter, kind of hard now to see them giving up this lead.
And this is just an offense that's imposing its will right now. You name it, they're able to do it. If you're the play caller, whatever you want to select is there. You want to run it, you want to throw it, pick a play, any play. They're rocking and rolling right now.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. This taken in at the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD. And if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw, Young. Short throw caught by Pitts. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that will bring up 2nd down.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5 at the 40-yard line.
Valdez-Scantling in motion left. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
And it's 3rd down.
Looking to throw, Young. It's brought in by Harris. So no gain on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And this will get inside the 20 and be touchdown just outside of the 15-yard line. Aaron Rodgers, he's getting ready to go again here on offense. 5 for 5 that last drive. Touchdown pass as well. He was clicking. Receivers, I don't want to be cliche, but running really solid routes too.
And what I love about it is when you look across any team, all right, there's body types of the receivers are usually different. The way that they get open, different as well. Some of them use power to get open. Some of them use those head fakes and subtle moves. Some of them just use pure speed. And the really good ones, when they're established, they know how to push off at the end of a route, too.
So 1st down, and they'll stick with Algier. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
And he's got a Bengals 1st down as the tackle made at about the 38.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They'll run on 1st down with Akers. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39. Here now 2nd and 9 from the 39-yard line. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. That penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward.
Still 2nd down.
The ball gets bumped up. It's now 2nd and 4 after the penalty. Algier going straight ahead. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 51 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. On the counter, this is Akers. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
2nd down, they'll go with Akers again. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. As they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's 2nd down and 2. On the counter, here's Algier. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a 1st. On the handoff, running left is Akers. Credit the tackle to Darius Phillips.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down the game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Michael Pittman from 13 yards out. And the Bengals start to open this lead even wider here in the 4th. But Charles, in this win, they've really just had one speed, and that's been all out. They're still driving the ball downfield despite the circumstances and the big lead, and they just continue to find ways to get into the end zone with ease.
They're certainly in that zone where almost everything they try is successful and often leads to points. Teams don't get those types of games very often, so when they do, many of them just want to take advantage of it to the last second.
Point after, right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Texans offense set to regain possession. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. Young. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Young now. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Well, they've certainly had their share of troubles running the football in this one, but this play is almost an extension of the running game right here. They set up the screen, let him work out in space on the perimeter, and he turns it into a big pickup.
Young now from the 50. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Young's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. A short throw, and that's hauled in by Mayer. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 37. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Kyle Hamilton picks it, and the Bengals are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. Well, they've got the huge lead now. They have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold. And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
Cincinnati set to take over once again. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we can probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen this season.
Well, things obviously not going their way. Trailing here in the fourth quarter, and that penalty going to go ahead and give the other side some extra yardage.
We all know it's an intense game and things can get heated out there. That's part of the battle. But bottom line, you got to keep your cool. That was not an example of doing that.
They'll go with Akers here up the middle. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Algier now up the middle. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Here's a run with Akers on 2nd down. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a first down. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they're powering through, and they're controlling this game.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there. Maybe he was going to be involved in that play from his tight end spot, and he jumped.
Yeah, don't tell me that those guys don't like to block. That's what we say about them nowadays in the NFL. But I think he thought he was one of the key pieces in that play and wanted to get out and execute the assignment very fast.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
3rd and 8.
And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
At the 6-yard line.
They'll run here with Akers. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the...
And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Point after try forthcoming. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A 10-play drive that time. And it was Cam Akers who capped it off with a touchdown. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the 4th quarter, facing the big deficit. What silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like 1 possession left and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
On 1st down, they look downfield, and it's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Another big gain or 2 in succession as this one goes for 32.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Looks like they're going to keep throwing till the bitter end. This one's long since over, but give them credit. They're going to go down fighting. That one, incomplete.
And Young's throw there, incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Meanwhile, the throw by Young was knocked away and incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. This defense has not surrendered a touchdown yet. You better believe they're determined not to here on 3rd and goal. Throwing, Young. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And the Bengals are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Oh, my goodness, CD. I mean, this defense just continuing to dominate. They're really dominating on both sides of the ball. But for the defense, that's now 3 interceptions for them here in this ball game.
And what a great teaching tape for this defensive coordinator, right? When they go back and review this game, what does he always tell us that he preaches to his team? We're going to lead the league in effort. Well, they're doing that in this game as well as making big plays.
They'll begin on the ground with Akers. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back there and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run. But the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play, and the other one, obviously, not ready at all?
Well, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed to sleep. So for the Bengals, they're setting themselves up as a major contender as they move to 8-1 now on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Houston, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.